thank you for joining us today. I'm Valerie. I'm the sales and marketing for the EMEA region at Frasers Hospitality. In case our listeners are wondering, we are recording this Fraser Moments podcast as we continue to work remotely. Today, I'm joined by Heather McNamee, UK Area General Managers for Frasers Hospitality, and we are discussing our readiness for reopening. How exciting. Heather, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Valerie. Yes, I am the UK Area General Manager for Frasers Hospitality. And maybe just a little bit about me before we start. I joined Frasers Hospitality 13 years ago. I've managed multiple properties, opened a new property, and project managed many refurbishments over the years, all of which have been really amazing experiences, both professionally and personally.
Well, I mean, it's fair to say after working with you for so many years, your role is very hands-on. So how has working from home been for you?
Well, it's been really, really different. Adjusting to staying in one place is by far being the most challenging aspect of working from home. My normal routine included a lot of traveling, but now travel only really takes me as far as the kitchen table. But that said, it allowed me to gain back precious time that I would normally be spent in tubes, in airports, in the car, to focus on adapting our operation and processes as a result of the COVID-19 crisis. The home environment is really not easy to work in. I have a 9-year-old and a 9-month-old kitten, both vying for my attention constantly. I have to say the 9-year-old is far easier to manage than the kitten, who seems to get into all kinds of trouble, and always when I'm in the middle of an important Zoom call. The most recent when she came back in from being covered in oil, don't even know where she got it from, but by the time I finished my Zoom call, it was all over the house, so that was quite stressful, especially trying to keep a straight face and be on camera during my call. But in all seriousness, I have established a routine and practical ways of working that suited me. Most important by far is differentiating between work and rest times. This has been really important for my son as well in terms of homeschooling. Setting clear parameters, even though we're in the same place, is a good coping strategy. The past 3 months have actually flown by. I've been really busy planning what reopening will look like while ensuring that residents and essential workers staying in our properties during the peak of the pandemic were safe. It's been really intense few months, having to adapt quickly to changes, creating new procedures to help guide the teams in these unprecedented times.
Yeah, it's funny how you share those moments. I think we all have had those kind of, those kind of moments with the
Yeah.
cats appearing on Zoom calls or little children popping up. I've certainly had that during my calls.
Yeah,
But,
sure.
to go back to the main subject, basically, as the hotels begin to reopen across the world, how will customer attitudes change, do you reckon?
I think the big surge of interest we've seen in the last decade or so has been towards boutique and trendy. It's likely to falter. Before, everybody wanted interesting and exotic social spaces. Now customers are seeking reassurance over safety and hygiene. Those who previously made a booking based on whether a hotel had luxury spas or was next to a beach will be more interested in how we're cleaning and how we're looking after our guests.
So the big question is, how have you made sure you're reaching those expectations?
Well, we've had to rethink pretty much every part of our business, focusing on all areas that are accessed by guests, as well as considering the safety and protection for staff.
Mm-hmm.
We're creating safe and comfortable environments for our guests to make up for lost time, and so they can give them somewhere to reconnect with their loved ones. Some of the things we're doing, for example, in rooms across our properties, we've introduced a new cleaning system called Tersano Lotus Pro, or Lotus Pro, which is what we're looking at and using within the business. This is a really innovative method which is it fuses water, like normal tap water, with ozone to create a high-performing stabilized aqueous ozone. This offers a simple, safe and sustainable alternative to traditional cleaners, ensuring every space is safe from all harmful bacteria, viruses and hazardous cleaning chemicals. And it's really green as well because it's just using water.
I was going to say it goes hand in hand with all our green credential that we've won for the past
Absolutely.
2 years.
Absolutely. We all in the UK, all of the properties have the Green Tourism Business Accreditation. So this really helps underpin that as well. Plus, it also helps keep our staff safe. So we're not asking them to use cleaning chemicals any longer. As well as all the actual cleaning of the rooms, the Lotus Pro will also sanitize all soft furnishings, cushions, duvets, curtains, and rugs. It's just a fantastic system, and already we're seeing the effects from the properties preparing for opening. Once each room has been sanitized, a door handle will be placed on the external door handle to notify the arriving guests that it's undergone the deep cleaning process, and that it is a safe environment for any new guests to use. So that will be our marker for our guests to know that we've carried out the full procedure.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, weekly housekeeping services will be provided for 8 nights or more. For those staying with us for a shortest time, we want to make sure that we respect your privacy, and we'll deliver fresh towels and linen to anybody's apartment upon request. This is to really further minimise the social interaction with the guests and the staff, with the added benefit of reducing our impact on the environment. Above all, we hope this will make everyone feel really safe and secure in their own space.
Yeah, I'm sure, no doubt. But many are saying that you can't design your way out of COVID-19. The second an infected person walks into a space and isn't wearing protective gear, everyone in range is going to be at risk. It's a case of putting all the safety measures in place and I guess responding to the reality at this time. So how are you preparing staff to navigate the new normal and manage this situation, Heather?
Well, we've worked really hard on this because you're absolutely right. Our team have to be fully aware of what changes we've made, and a lot of them have been on furlough for a long period of time. So we have worked very, very closely with our health and safety advisors and our partners to actually come up with a bespoke training programme in relation to all the new health and hygiene related procedures and the responsibility to the guests that we are going to look after, and also their colleagues as well. They're required to complete a mandatory online COVID-19 awareness training course. And we also have new HR policies and processes that have already been implemented, so the staff are ready to return to work.
Yeah, I have completed one, so I can say that it's really, really thorough. For sure, I have a very better understanding of that.
Absolutely. And you know, our staff will not be considered for work until they actually take that test. And there's also a test towards the end, so we can actually see if they've taken on board the training and the content of the training module. So as well as that, we're taking all reasonable steps to follow the government's COVID-19 secure workplace guidelines. We're in communication with key suppliers and partners, which is absolutely crucial to ensure that their policies and systems relating to health and hygiene meet our high standards. All necessary PPE will be supplied for the staff, but also if guests would like it, we will be able to give that to them as well. This will include face coverings, gloves, and disposable aprons.
Okay. And you mentioned the new cleaning system. Are there any other technologies that you are embracing to support, the new operations, I guess?
Not technologies as such, just really reviewing the full operation to evaluate where we can to simplify and minimise the interaction to provide the highest level of comfort to our guests so that they know that their well-being is our priority. We will not ask the guests to handle cash. Instead, all payments will be by card. Key cards for the doors, pens that they're used to sign a registration card will all be sanitised before reuse. Our team are really, really ready for opening our properties, and we've spent a lot of time reviewing every single step-by-step process within the hotels and in the service apartments to make sure that that's looked after.
Well, that I have no doubt. I mean, knowing you, you've worked. I think you've made good use of your working from home. You seems to embrace and master the whole reopening of safely all the properties in the UK. So well done to you. But as a final point, really. How do you think the new normal compares for hotels versus serviced apartments?
No, you're absolutely right. I've been completely focused on this for the past, since pretty much lockdown started. In fact, I think my husband said to me the other morning that in my sleep I was talking about containment and sanitizing and PPE. So it's something I'm now living and breathing for sure. But really, the best thing about service apartments is that they really offer a self-contained accommodation, which is home-like. It's got conveniences like kitchens and washing machines, so guests can remain safely isolated and self-sufficient. They'll have much more control of their situation than in a hotel. We've had to suspend our buffet breakfasts, but instead we're offering something very new, which is make your own breakfasts, where a delivery of ingredients will be placed in the apartments prior to guests arriving, and they can make use of the kitchens that all of our service apartments have. Guests have the space to relax in what feels like their second home, as well as feeling reassured they can prepare food themselves at any time they choose. Many of our properties, even in city centre locations, have access to parks nearby, with some having their own private gardens. Our convenient locations mean that guests can plan socially distanced activities and access green spaces without having to use public transport.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. The location of our properties are second to none to start with. So I think we will minimize that public transport, but also the space. I've certainly traveled over the years, and I'm really looking to stay now in a serviced apartments, because you don't need to compromise with your lifestyle. I think that you can check in and set up as your own and live the life as you wish, especially ladies, we always more or less on a diet, so you can go straight away to the supermarket and cook for yourself. And these days, I mean, social distancing is something that certainly we need to take notice of. So
I think
Heather,
as well.
yeah.
I think I'm just going to say, I think that the other thing is, as a mother and trying to find something for my son to do over the summer holidays. Obviously, we're a bit tentative about travel out with the UK, but coming to a service apartment is certainly something that I would choose as my first, if I was looking for something to do and somewhere to stay, that's what I would look for. Being able to have, a bit of space as an adult time after entertaining my child all day is certainly something that would appeal, and it's something that I would look for as a mum and as a wife and as somebody that is looking to try and entertain my child in the summer holidays after we've been in the same house for over 3.5 months is certainly something we'd be looking for. So service apartments really do tick all the boxes.
Yeah, and I think it's very promising, the level of reservations that we have so far received since the announcement that we can actually reopen on the 4th of July for the UK, and then the 15th of July for Scotland for the time being. I think that's extremely encouraging that people do actually would select the serviced apartment instead of a traditional hotel.
Just in a matter of days, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, thanks a lot, Heather, for joining me today on the Fraser Moment podcast, and to all out there, thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe, and see you real soon. Bye.
Thank you.